Success is not a straight line. And one thing that I've learned over chasing success literally since I was in my teens, trying to make something happen, trying to build businesses, I was always one of these kids, and I'm sure some of you guys can relate, that just wanted to do more. I was always just like obsessed with trying to figure out, how far I could get, what I could do, how much money I could make, what businesses I could build, what, places I could be, where I could live, like how I wanted to travel. I just wanted to do all this stuff. And I know there's a lot of you guys out there who probably feel the same. And that's exactly why I'm making this video. I've been able to, I'm grateful for the fact that I've been able to hit some of those milestones, make some of that money, move some of those places, and live a pretty wild, awesome, fulfilling life up to this point. Yes, it's came with a lot more stress than I think most people go through at a young age, but it's also come with a lot more good things too, right? With stress, with good comes bad always, at whatever scale, right? At whatever scale you're on in life, there's gonna be good and there's gonna be bad coming at you, right? But the biggest thing I wanna explain, which is probably the biggest overall lesson I've learned, is something I like to call the stairway to success. And I'm gonna break this down for you guys, but it's essentially exactly how it sounds. It's the stairway that I personally think every person goes on as they're chasing success. And it's also the only stairway I think that's available for anybody to get on when they're chasing success. And here's how the stairway works and why I call it the stairway. So when you're chasing success, you're gonna have months, weeks, years even, where you're just up. You're just up, everything feels great, you're going, you're moving, things are just working, it's snap, 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 go, 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 everything's happening, and it feels like it's just, once it's up, it's stuck. It feels like you're never turning back down. Then all of a sudden, had to take a quick little stop real quick for the nitro cold brew. Woo! But now we got the nitro. Let's get back to the video. All right, so as I was saying, this thing's bubbling. As I was saying about the stairway, when you're on this stairway and you're having, I'd call it your first up, right? In the beginning, the hardest thing is just getting something to work, right? But once you get something to work, this is when you finally start the stairs, right? This is where you go from being at the bottom of the stairs right before they start to the first stair. And when you're at that first stair, a lot of the times the first little, come up, and I've experienced this myself as well as, watched other people. So that's why I'm saying a lot of the times is because I've seen a lot of people at this point in my life and know a lot of people who have went through similar journeys, and it's kind of similar. Like obviously there's outliers, but I see a lot of people, it kind of works this way, and this is exactly how it worked for me too. You get up your first stair and you have your first upswing, and it's just a huge upswing. It's like way more than what you expected. It's not something you necessarily are, ready to handle, or you're just not, there's no way to be able to handle, something that is completely new to you, right? You're gonna make mistakes, you're gonna fuck up, right? And basically, you're gonna have that first upswing and you're gonna be feeling like, oh, nothing could ever go bad. Now that I freaking made it, it's fine. Like, you're gonna be using terms like made it, terms like, never broke again, right? Terms like that. And then you're gonna get up, say, to the third stair on the staircase, and then you're gonna get hit in the face. Something's gonna happen that you didn't expect because you're still new to this, that is going to just smack you, and you're gonna be like, oh shit, like I did not expect that. What do I do now, right? And this might cause you to get knocked down a couple stairs. But the key thing to remember is in this first one, the first little downturn hurts the worst. I kind of look at it like this, like you're just in business, there's years where you're, downtrending, years where you're uptrending, but the most important part is that you just keep going up. And so in these times where you get knocked down a couple stairs, right, you're gonna feel like, oh, your confidence is gonna get hurt. You might start being negative to yourself. You might start having negative thoughts. You might have all these things, and it's okay because it's completely normal and everybody goes through it. So don't penalize yourself for it. Don't freak out. The worst thing you can do, and this is something I do personally, so this is why I know it's the worst thing you could do, is just trash yourself when bad things happen. Like, do not call yourself names. Don't think don't think in your head that, oh, why did I do this? Why overanalyzing everything you do? You go into this analysis paralysis once you have something working and then it stops working. You're like, why did I do this? If I would have done this different, you cannot do that, okay? Because this is a natural step and a natural process in the stairway to success. You're naturally going to get knocked down, right? But the important thing is to remember when you get knocked down that you were just on stair 3 and you started at stair 0, right? Not at one day you were at stair 0. None of this was even in your conscious. You made something really good happen, and now you're having to figure out how to get it going again. And that's just part of the process. And the coolest thing about these stairs is they're stairs, right? So you can go up 3 stairs, get knocked down 2, and still be higher than where you first started. And that's the biggest point that I want to make to you guys with this stairway to success whole thing that I'm talking about, because it really is the real goal is not to just take the stairway straight up, because it's not going to happen, right? Obviously you could set that goal, but you're going to have years, months, weeks where you're getting knocked downstairs. And the most important thing to remember through that is just, hey, up 3 stairs, down 2, up 4 stairs, down 3, up 2 stairs, down 1, right? To remember that, hey, we're not trying to just go straight up, right? We're okay if we have these ups and these downs, because at the end of the day, we're just trying to make sure that every downswing we have, we land higher than where we took off from when we started that upswing. And the reason you want to keep this in mind is because you want to expect it, right? You want to not to manifest it. You don't want to, think about this. You don't want to, but when these things do inevitably happen, you need to know why they happen. And the reason is because just like growing pains, your brain needs to grow. In your brain, when so many things are going on, right? When you first start having your first thing work, or you first start seeing success, there's gonna be all these, opportunities and things that are aligning and things that it's gonna feel like all the stars are aligning, right? And it's an amazing feeling, but there's so many opportunities, so many people you're gonna meet, so many things that you're now gonna know or have access to that you didn't before, that your brain is just it's gonna be like, it's not gonna know how to necessarily, sorry, we just passed the 12, just past the cop. I didn't want him to think I was like on my phone or something, so I kind of had to stop talking. But you're gonna go and you're gonna have this feeling where everything seems like it's aligning, right? And during that time, you're gonna make new friends, you're gonna meet new people, you're gonna have new opportunities. And these opportunities are insanely hard to say no to. And I don't think, if it's a good opportunity, if it's something you truly want to do, I don't think you should deny it. I don't think you should be like, oh, I'm only working on this right now, I'm not going to learn about this too, or I'm not going to learn. If you have time to learn about something and you now have the opportunity to, and you weren't able to before, and say you meet somebody in that business that you want to learn about, you should learn about it, right? You should, especially if you're young, you should learn about it. That's the beauty of life, is learning and expanding. But if you do choose to learn and expand constantly, then you're going to have brain growing pains, which are going to knock you down because your brain's not going to know how to handle it. There's going to be so many things going on that your brain, you might feel like you have it handled, but all of a sudden you'll see a downtrend in one of your businesses, or you'll see some sort of thing happen. You'll see somebody, is taking money from you that you weren't able to focus on because you were so busy over here. Or you'll see, some marketing channel is falling down because you weren't able to attend to it, as much as you used to be able to, or whatever it is. You'll see these things happen. And that's the stairway method essentially being enacted. That's you get up 3 stairs, you get knocked down 1. You get up 4 stairs, you get knocked down 2. But every time you get knocked down, you still land higher than where you last were at, right? And over time, you'll get to the top of the staircase. But the key thing there is over time. It's not going to be instant, and you're going to have lots of ups and downs in between. But if you understand this and you keep in mind that it literally is a staircase, and that's the only way to become successful, you will be okay with it and you'll accept it. And then the ups and the downs will get less emotionally crazy, right? They'll get less and less emotionally insane because you'll start to expect it, right? The first time you lose a bunch of money maybe, or the first time, your business stops going as planned, or your whatever happens, you have personal things happen, whatever it is, that's going to feel bad, right? But then you're going to come back from it. And then the second time that happens again, after you come back and then, say fall off again, you're going to feel like, oh, I've been here before. I know this is just part of the process. And it's going to get a little easier and a little easier each time you have these ups and downs. But what I see from people who have been in business, longer than me, 30 years, 40 years in business, a lot of these people I know, they are so not attached to the results of today that they're not even worried. Like, they'll take a risk and this business won't work out for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, right? But they know after 10 years of eating shit, this thing's gonna pay off and this thing's gonna be huge. And they get so used to not looking at they understand the stairway essentially so well, the stairway to success, that they don't even think about it. They know this is the journey. They know they are on these stairs, and they know there's going to be days where they get knocked back one stair, right? And then they go up 3 and get knocked back 2. They already know this. And if you could understand this, it's going to make your whole journey a lot easier, because getting to the top of the stairs does not just mean running up to the very top. And if you feel like you're at the top of the stairs, you're probably not there yet. That's probably the reality, right? There's been a lot of times where I've thought, oh my gosh, especially when I first started in business and I had my first, upswing, I was like, oh my gosh, it's never going to stop, like I'm going to just keep doing this, and this is going to just keep being awesome, and there's going to be no problems, and da-da-da-da-da. Because that's kind of how the internet makes it seem sometimes. You see all these videos and all these things, and you kind of start to think like, oh shit, like, once I make money or have a quote unquote business, like, oh my gosh, my life is just great, right? Always. But that is not success. That is not personal success. Even if your business is perfect and your business never has a bad day, you're still going to go through this stairway to success just with personal things in your life. I think it's just a universal rule that there can't be good times without hard times. And that being said, this doesn't just relate to business. It really just relates to life. It's really just a life principle that, hey, we're on this stairway to success throughout our whole life. And we just have to remember, on the good days, to be grateful, and on the bad days, to be hopeful. Okay? If you can be grateful on the good days and hopeful on the bad days, you'll continue. Right? But the minute you have a bad day and you don't have hope, right? Or the minute you have a good day and you're not grateful, that's the minute that God, or whatever you want to call the universal force, will course correct you. It'll say, hey, you're getting a little too, you're living a little too outside of reality for reality. And it'll check you. It's the one force that not only can nobody really explain, but it's the one force that is so powerful that it's inevitable, right? It's the reality force. It's God. It's whatever you want to call it. But that force will not let you avoid these things, right? Because good cannot exist without bad. It's all relative, right? If I ask you what does good mean, you're gonna say, oh, well, it's good, right? It really doesn't even mean anything. Or what does bad mean? And be like, oh, well, it's something I don't like. But what does that mean, right? And when you start dissecting these bad situations, instead of just calling them bad or good or this or that, you start to understand the reality behind them. And a lot of these things you'd call bad, you find out actually aren't bad. It's just you being carved into a different person, a better version of you. It's you being stress tested, tested, right? It's like when you make a product and you go and you, like, say you make a waterproof product and you go and you test that waterproof product at different depths in the water and you see how deep it can go before water, breaks into the product, right? See how waterproof it is. It's stress testing. And that's what life's doing to you on these times where you're in your stairway, where you're on the staircase and you get knocked down. It's stress testing. It's deciding, hey, are you really about this, right? Are you really ready? And in those points, if you could just remember that you're being tested and this is something that is inevitable and something that you need to do to get to the next level, it's going to make the whole process a lot easier for you to stay consistently moving forward with. Because if you don't remember this, you're going to feel like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Everything's just not going my way. Poor me, poor this, poor that. You have to remember that this is life stress testing you. It's okay to get emotional. It's okay to get sad. It's okay to not have things working out 100% of the time. It's okay to not know what your next 5 years is going to look like. I noticed a big problem with me getting involved in business, and a big problem with a lot of business owners I see, is you try to make sure everything's in your control. Like, you try to make sure, like, you assume responsibility for everything, right? As soon as you start to feel sad, you sit from a different perspective and you think, why am I feeling sad? I shouldn't be sad because this, that. Or you start to feel happy and then you judge your happiness. You're like, I shouldn't be happy because I have this, and that to do, right? And you start to be analytical about every single thing in your life as if you are God, or as if you know the future, or could magically somehow see what's ahead. But you can't, and you're not God. So leave it to Him. Leave it to the universe. Leave it to reality to sort things out. Don't question yourself. Let yourself be you. It's one of the biggest keys and one of the biggest things that I hope you, especially you young guys getting started in business, take a second to listen to, because it really, really, really does make a big difference once you understand this. All right, I just pulled into the gym parking lot though, so we're gonna do a quick little recap, then I'm gonna go work out. The stairway to success. The whole point behind this 20, 30 minute long video, however long this ends up being, there's a stairway that you're on right now, that all of us are on who live this life. And the goal is not to go up all 20 stairs, all 30 stairs at once. The goal is to make it to the top of the stairs. So when you're in a phase where things are going super good, remember to be grateful, because there could be, and there will be, times where you're up 3 stairs and you get knocked down 2. And then there's going to be times where you go up 3 stairs and you're knocked down 2. And then you go up 4 stairs and you're knocked down 1. And then you go up 5 stairs and you're knocked down 4. There's going to be these times, right? And all I can give you recommendations on, other than understanding this, is just being grateful when you're on the upswings, and being hopeful and grateful as well when you're on the downswings, because they're all part of the process and you're still on the stairs. Remember this. Keep this in your back pocket. Use it as a tool. Use it as a little mental thing that you understand that helps you get through these times. Because if I would have fully understood this when I was younger and first getting started, it would have made things a lot smoother for me. And luckily, once I did grasp this, I started to, not get as worried, concerned when bad things were happening. I've always been somebody who's been a bit of a warrior, right? I've been somebody who, not warrior, but worrier. Like somebody who was a little bit of a, I'd say like, I was scared. I was always kind of cautious. Like growing up, I would not get myself in really bad situations because I'd always be cautious. I didn't like to be around people who seemed to be unpredictable, or people who seemed to be, not stable. I like to be around stable people who I felt like, weren't living outside of reality. And over the years, I've forced myself to get comfortable with the uncertainty in life, because I learned that the uncertainty is actually what makes life beautiful. It's actually what makes the good times good. So remember this. take this into your life and use it as you wish. I gotta go work out. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next video.